up, Flosstube? Welcome back. It's January 16th today, 2023. Sounds crazy to say that. Time flies when you're having fun, right? Um, my last Flosstube was December 28th. Since then, we've had the new year. And I'll tell you a little bit about how I spent my New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. It was probably the best part of my break as far as stitching goes. I got the most done and had the most relaxing time enjoying stitching. Um, we got to have our oldest son home from the Air Force for a couple weeks, and he's now back doing his job. Our daughter celebrated just yesterday her 15th birthday. It was her golden birthday on the 15th. The week before that, our middle son, turned 19 on the 8th, and my husband had a birthday on the 9th. So we have just been going crazy between getting everybody back to their work and schedule and kind of a little bit of normalcy. It seems like, we're back into the groove, which is nice. I have the day off today because of school and things, and so I'm enjoying being able to get another Flosstube video squeezed in here. This weekend has been a little bit more relaxing. I kind of forced my husband to just chill yesterday. It was our daughter's birthday, so we went to church, and then we went to lunch with my parents. The night before, we went to dinner with his parents and got to celebrate the birthdays that way with them, which is always special and nice. And then we came home and had our daughter open gifts and things. And then she took off with her older cousin and spent the night with her, so she's having fun that way. And she has the day off too, so it's kind of nice that she was able to put one more thing in for her birthday as well. So I spent New Year's Eve participating with Kia B and Pam from Just Keep Stitching in their 12 by 12, which is every hour for 12 hours when you start at lunch at noon. It was 11 o'clock my time because they're Eastern time and I'm Central time. So I started at 11 with our first project, and you tried to start 12 new projects so that you had one new start for every month of the year. I thought that was wonderful and a great way to do it. So I spent the morning working on making sure I kind of had projects, which I'm feeding these into my WIPGO. It's the first time I'm participating in WIPGO this year as well. So I was working on getting all of those like kitted up, made sure I had the materials for those, and if not, made a list so I could either order them or get them. If it was DMC, get them at our local store. So I had a great time doing that, and it really set things in motion. I will say, though, I feel like Stephanie in the fact that I did not get nearly as many starts done as I planned. I maybe got 6 new starts done, and I'll show you those. But it was great to force me to at least have 12 that I could put into my WIPGO if I needed to, if I finished things. My WIPGO is mostly, excuse me, mostly going to be dealing with 7 hours. I'm trying to get minimum of 7 hours on a project. So I'm putting 2 down. When the numbers get called for that month, then at least so that, in case there's nights when I don't get to sit down and stitch, I will, no matter what, in that 2-week amount of time, at least 7 times, at least every other night, I'll sit down for at least an hour and get them stitched. So I'm not really looking at completing a lot because I did have a lot of new starts this last year. Some of them are quite a bit bigger, just not going to have a chance to, actually fully finish those, which is okay. But I'll get definitely another chunk on each of those. So I'm excited about that. And actually, the first numbers got called were 6 and 10, and my number 6, I actually got finished. So I started it on New Year's Eve, and then I finished it on New Year's Day. Crazy! All right, this is what it is. It's a Lizzy Kate. It's super small, so it's It's not surprising. It's called Chicks. And it actually came kind of as a kit. So I don't know what fabric this is. It's a linen. I'm going to guess it's 32 count or 28 count. And I'm going to guess it's Witchell because it's pretty stiff. But it turned out pretty cute. I don't know if you end up seeing through that. I'll try and do it that way. So I don't have, I'm not a big one on beads. So I probably won't use the beads on this one. There's just a couple little green ones. But I use mostly the called for. It didn't come with thread. It just came with the pattern and the fabric and the little beads. And I'm not going to end up using the beads in there. So anyway, so that was the first one. The second one was number 10 that got called. And that was my Owl Forest Embroidery. So that's this pattern. It's a completely free pattern, and I think we decided that it was a Ukrainian designer, and the patterns are impeccable. They are done really, really well. Now they have a thread kit that they sell to go with these. I didn't buy that because I wanted to get started right away, and I didn't know how long something getting shipped overseas would take. So what I've done is they do offer DMC equivalents. And I sort of went off that, but as you can see, let me show you the pattern again. It's very, their colors are very variegated. So because of the variegation, I picked 2 colors for each and thought I'd use smaller strands and then kind of do maybe 2 at a time for different things. So these are what I chose for threads. All of them are DMC except for this one, Classic Colorworks, which is honeycomb. I chose that because it kind of had some variegation in it already. I'm using 32 count parchment. So I will be using 2 strands over 2. And that's my start. I got the border started. It's got some little pumpkins in the bottom there. But I think it's going to look good on that. I even found a frame at Goodwill that I think will work for this as well, even if I have to cut it down. But I don't think I'm going to have to. I think it's gonna work well. I may have to do a little mat to it, but that'll be okay. I can figure that out. So I'm excited. This one's it's cute so far, and I'm not sure what it called for fabric, but this has kind of like a green hint to it. So I think it looks nice. I think that's going to work out well. Okay, the next one that I started was Little House Needleworks, the Stitching Bee. Let me take it out of the plastic. I didn't get too far on this. Again, these are just starts that every hour, you sat down. Of course, I still had my family here and things, so I didn't care if I got, all of them started or not. So I started with the border. That's how far I got. Now, this thread, or this fabric, I talked about it last week. This is a Witchell. But it's the Country French. So it's a very soft Witchell fabric. It's 28 count, cafe mocha color. But you can see how it's just super soft, super pliable. It's almost got kind of a big weave to it. I'm assuming kind of like a Weeks would be. Weeks has pretty big weave to that fabric. So that was that start. I can show you in this bag. I also wanted to do this one. This is from Tiny Modernist, Happy Easter, but I didn't get a start to it. But it's one that's in there to get started. And I think I'll be able to finish this one as well. So hopefully that number gets called in the next month or two so that I'll have that for springtime for Easter. It's a cute small one as well. Now the next one is from the Scarlett house, and this one's called Seeking Refuge. And again, it's one that I was super excited to start. Didn't get a very good big start on it. You can see what it says on there. Of course, who doesn't love a house? I've done a terrible job at getting my threads put on a ring. So that's the thing I need to do. Very small start. That's the part of the border. This is on sand, 40 count sand by Zweigart. I really do like it. So I only have to do one thread over two. It calls for something different. Newcastle Country Mocha. And I think that would be very pretty on there as well. My threads, the threads I chose are all DMC. And I think they're going to pop on there quite well. So you saw the white, and that's the lightest color on there. So I think it'll work out good. The next one is on Smoky. Hold on. Smoky White by, it's Belfast linen, so it's 32 count. Belfast is 32. And again, I just have a very small start on a very big piece. But this is from Heartstrings Samplery, and it is their coffee Quaker. I love this one. Now, even if you're not a coffee drinker, I still think you would probably really like the pattern. The chart is neat. I like anything because it's Quakery. Of course, I love the saying. I'm using all the called for DMC. I just have a very small start. But it's coming across a lot darker than the pattern. Pattern makes it seem like it's going to be kind of washed out, but it's not. It's going to be nice and bright, especially on that lighter fabric. Okay. And this is the last one. This is probably my favorite one right now. It's Winter Moth. And I don't know why I even like this. I'm not a big moth person. It's funny how we get certain things. I was like this with quilting too. There'll be a quilt that I see in a shop or online, and I'm just like, I have to do that. It's so funny how we have certain things that we just love. I have no idea why I'm drawn to this, but I'm doing this one on Vintage Country Mocha 36 count. And I think, Vintage Country Mocha works for so many things. In all honesty, it just, for whatever reason, it just really seems to, it's got that old school charm to it, perfect coloring all the time. I mean, I think you can probably use about anything with it. Now this is my start. Because it's 36 count, again, I can just do 1/2. But it's so pretty. It's just very soft and like soft colors, soft picture. I'm excited to do it. So I hope that number gets called soon too. And again, I put in on the Forest Embroidery one, I put in my good 7 days already in January. So I've started working on a couple other things as well. I'll show you the next one. This is the last one that I started. And it's Ye Old Crow. I think I showed that I hit this pattern. And it's a number that I have, but it's not been called. But I'm still starting it anyway. I did start it on the 12 by 12 day on New Year's Eve, but I just thought, I don't know, I just wanted to pick it up and start working on it. So I love how for the word crow, each of the letters are going to be like sideways, CROW on here. So just neat. It's a fun one. I'll probably make it into a pillow as well. So I need to get some black pom-poms to finish that one off. Okay, so those are all the pieces that I started. As far as haul goes, that'll be the next thing. I put an order in to Hollis Hands Create, and when they send you your items, you get this little card, which is a little freebie that has a project information on it. Kind of like Lori Holt has the library cards on the back of a lot of her projects, so that'll be a fun thing to put on the back of some of mine. One of the Plum Street charts that I have is Rejoice, and it called for Up in the Attic. And Hollis is one of the only places that had a chunk of it. So that's what this is. Up in the Attic. It's kind of a pinky brick color. You can't tell in this light, but it's what it looks like. And then I also got a small piece of Patriots Brew as well. Both of them I got in 36 count. So I don't know what I'm going to use Patriots Brew on, but this one I definitely have, a chart ready to go for. So you can kind of see the different colors, how this one's more pinky. It's got like just pink undertone to it, almost like a brick. Looks very bricky to me, but I don't really know where they come up with names. Up in the Attic. It's close. It's okay. And then the other thing I got from them is a set of pom-poms from Lady Dot Creates. And this is in the vintage, so they're kind of tie-dyed, tea-dyed. So, the other thing that two other things I purchased. One was Thread Magic. Every once in a while, I seem to have, my thread will get kind of caught up. It gets all twisted and whatnot. So I thought, man, I'm going to try some thread conditioner. And this is the one that I had a 40% off at Michael's. And so I thought, well, I'll try this and see. It's supposed to be it's better than wax. And I know some people say that they use thread conditioner and they use the wax type, and it makes their thread a little bit darker. So their things are darker. Well, then I've read with the wax, my house, we get really hot summers at times. And so if it's in the attic and I'm storing things for, Christmas or whatever, and I go to pull them out, the wax can melt. Well, that doesn't sound like a good idea. So I'm going to try this. It's synthetic. I'll let you know when I try it how it works. I also got a DMC thread chart because I have purchased online back years and years ago thread, and so I have a ton of it, but it's nice to be able to see the different colors. And like if I have a blue, like say I have this blue, but I need this blue, or I need this blue, if I know that they're super close, I can go ahead and use it, you know. Sometimes it's harder to tell on the monitor. I do look up colors on the monitor too and see when there's colors that are close, you know, if I think I can use them or not. And then you just eyeball it, and sometimes with the fabric that you've chosen, sometimes a different color even works better. The last thing is the cross stitch journal. I have been using this year. I finally got it out. Everybody said yes, definitely use it. So I started in the beginning with at least getting my first, goodness, you can't see that at all, my first 11 or 12 down. I think I have 12 in here total, but I'm trying to, oh yeah, I have up to 13. At least put in, you know, the colors I'm using and whatnot. So for DMC, or if I changed it or whatever. So hopefully it'll be nice to go through as I'm using it throughout the year and add things to it, add end dates, and to see how long it takes me to complete things and to keep it. I'll probably put a big 2023 on the front, or maybe 2023, 2024, because there's quite a bit of 50. I don't have 50 whips right now. So maybe it'll be a 2-year journal before I can get stuff done. So, but it's nice to at least log in when you start something. I know people say, this is my oldest whip and things, and I'm thinking, I don't know which one's my oldest because I didn't write them down. I mean, I have an approximate idea, but one of the other ones that I started to work on, I pulled it out, and I just, because I love it, and I really do want to eventually finish it. But I don't get very far, so I just have to keep every once in a while pulling it out, is this one. It's Pumpkins for Sale by Lori Holt. So I'm getting there little by little. If I work on it a little every month, then by fall it should be done. I have more of the pants done. This is what I've been working on. It's one that I can see because it's 25 count that it's on. So I don't always have to have, you all know I've got such terrible eyes. I won't have to have necessarily a magnifier or light extra. So if I'm taking things and waiting for practice to get over, it's kind of nice to have something that I can actually look at and not have to worry about, you know, a magnifier or super great light. The last thing I bought was, I thought I had them right here. Yep. Some more needles. These are 26 count. So I found as I was kitting everything up, I don't have a needle for every project. So I definitely needed some more needles. I like 26 count. I like 24 count. I really love the tulip ones. Those are, I think, my favorite so far. These are very nice as well. For the price, I totally don't mind them. The tulip ones have the little gold inside, the little gold tops where you thread it. I think that helps. These are nice and thin, so as you're doing 40 count, you do need a definitely a smaller needle than like a 24 or 26. So 26 works. 26 does work. But some of the smaller ones, 22s, don't work as well. So that's all I have for you today. Thanks for joining me. I hope to see you again, and keep stitching and enjoy 2023. It's going to be a great year, everyone. Take care. Hey everyone, just letting you know that I do know these are size 26, 24, 22. I know they're not 26 count, 28 count needles. Sorry about that. I went and watched the video and was like, It's not count, it's the size of the needle. I'm very well aware. Thank you.